Alejandro looks so official.
Known as second city, but first in every team. Champion town, got trophies and them rings. Bulls on tap, we coming for everything. Yeah. Tap sports, we coming for everything. Yeah. It's apparent, nobody talking better than Melissa and Derek. They hate to compare it. Us and winners placed in the marriage, forever we cherish. Got opinions on the Bulls, who better to share it. I know you wish you can be cool as we. Foolishly, you never be number one against our legends 2 and 3. Don't act like y'all don't know who you hear, who you see. Bulls on tap sports. Y'all know who we be. For real, word.
What's up, Bulls Nation? Welcome to the first ever Bulls on Tap Roundtable presented to you by On Tap Sports Network. I'm your host, Derek. As always, I'm here kicking it with my co-host, Miss Melissa. Missy, what's up?
What's up, gang? Excited to talk with you guys. Got a whole squad on today.
Yeah.
Sir, we have our brand leader, Morris. Morris, what's going on, man?
I'm chilling. Ready to just figure out what are we doing is Bulls Nation.
And we have Bulls on Tap writer Alejandro. What's happening?
Nothing, just the same consistency, continuity.
More competitiveness.
A consistently competitiveness plan of action that doesn't have much action to it has been what we've been going through with this bull season. Shout out to everybody already in the comments. Yeah, so let's set up how we got here. We thought the Bulls were pivoting to a young roster, which would lead to a lot of losses and good lottery odds. And that's not really what happened because the Bulls finished with the same record as last season. The 9th spot in the East, which was play-in territory. And we lost to Miami again for the 3rd season in a row, going home in the play-ins. Consistency, integrity, and competitiveness. All good enough for the front office and to sell that play-in home game tickets. And now we're once again on the off season left wondering what the hell is going on with this team.
I feel like I had to walk back
More
about the play-in and me not wanting to go to the play-in, and then I end up going and organizing a big old group game. And then tweeting about, people may say I'm part of the problem, but da-da-da-da. I low-key kind of wish I could delete that tweet, but...
I mean, I've had some time to think about this, and I just published sort of like a season recap today. That's a wild 3 straight days. I mean, if you think about it, like Wednesday night, the Bulls get destroyed in play-in. Then you have just completely shameful press conference the next day from Arturas Karnisovas, and then Friday, Peter Pat's fired. It's just like I can't really think of a news cycle the Bulls have had that's been that chaotic in that span of time. Like just all that 3 straight days.
No integrity was involved with any of those 3 events. The Bulls went out sad against the Heat blowout. AK just gets on stage and doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And then you fire Peter Patton, the guy who's helped your guys actually be able to shoot. Where's the integrity, AK?
They didn't fire him.
How you feeling about
They let him. They didn't pick up their team option. That's what it was. They didn't fire him. They decided to part ways, give him a letter of recommendation, and go help another team be able to shoot. Because who needs him here? Who needs shooting when when you got continuity, when you got Zion or Sabonis?
Well, when you pick 9 to 10 very good players, young players with experience, you don't need player development. You don't need coaching. No, they have experience. That's why you get the experience.
That's what we're priding our team on, like it being so young, right? Like, why do we need development? For what?
Nah.
You don't need it. You don't need to focus on player development. What you mean?
Everyone, their older team is giving up on them, but we'll take them. If they can't do, who needs it? They're gonna get a lot of playing experience from the Miami Heat.
Yeah, I don't really understand
playing experience of.
Sorry, my internet's probably tweaking. Is that my internet? Am I lagging again?
No. Well, I hear you.
Mm-hmm. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, I guess none of us really understood that move. I know there are like a few that on Twitter, well, X on Twitter, I can't even, I'll never call it X, but on Twitter, there were some people that were like, it's not that big of a deal. Like Peter Patton wasn't doing his job. They weren't doing his job. And, the roster barely improved, this, that, and the third. But it's just like you saw the improvements with, of course, not every single player. And we're never going to start. Here goes another stray to Patrick. But like, of course, we never count Pat. It doesn't matter who it is. But like Giddey's improvements, Kobe's improvements, Ayo, but he had his injury. But and then him being so likable, which doesn't always equate to being effective at your job. But in that particular role, you do spend a lot of time with a player development team and coach, but you still aren't going to you're not going to be fond of that team just because you spend a lot of time with them. At the end of the day, you're still a professional. You're still there to make money. You're still there to get better. So, yeah, it's crazy to see that people are just like, okay with it. Like, oh, he wasn't even that good. So I'm confused by all that. And of all the moves that could have been made, that's the move we made.
Yeah, I mean, I think to anybody who thinks that like Peter Patton was like a non-factor or somebody where like his impact wasn't felt in that roster, I would offer this. I mean, and so again, I'll plug, I published a recap column today for Bulls on Tap. One of the things I highlighted in that recap was, just the whole progression of Modest Buzelis this season. And I think more than anything, if you just look at his numbers, his shooting, like there is a real tangible improvement in his shooting. Like if you just look at his true shooting percentage, one of the things I called out was, his pre-All-Star game, Modest's pre-All-Star game versus post-All-Star game split. Pre-All-Star game this season, Modest had a 55% true shooting percentage, which is slightly deficient. And, post-All-Star game, granted smaller number of games, but still something to point to is, Modest improved himself up to the point where he's basically a league average shooter in terms of true shooting percentage. He finished the post-All-Star stint with a 58.5% true shooting. So, like, I just think that's encouraging, but it's also just like very confused. Like, why change the infrastructure at this juncture where you have, really the hope of the franchise resting on Modest at this point, where like you would have loved, I think, to have a whole summer of Modest working with Peter Patton to see like where he can really take that shooting.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And just from his G League 3-point shooting, it was like 21%. He works with Patton, and first NBA season, he averaged like league average was 36% from three. Kobe had his best true shooting percentage numbers in his career, and I don't understand how you would question, oh, I don't know if he was good at his job when Dalen Terry is out there knocking down 3 for 6 from three when season before he was hitting the side of the backboard and not even coming close to knocking threes down. He developed into a consistent corner shooter. Same with Julian Phillips.
Yeah, you would just wish there was like, again, like, you know, let me get started on AK slander. Like, you would have wished that AK had some like semblance of wanting to organize a proper team and a roster. Because I mean, let's think about even like, you know, 2-3 seasons ago when we were in the thick of like Zach, Vooch, and DeMar. How many kick out threes that we have as a roster going to like Derrick Jones Jr. or AC? Great role players, obviously, since they've moved on from the Bulls. But like, we have to be honest, like them as like outlets trying to take threes, no defense feared that. Like, and now we've progressed to the point where we have role guys that actually hit like uncontested threes, like with some level of like consistency.
Yeah,
When
a
you
lot of it that could be good. Alejandro.
oh my bad.
Can't talk. Go ahead, Alejandro.
At one point, I think I read somewhere that Patrick Williams had to like have like 3 different. Everyone tried working with him, and he wasn't responding well to any of them. So I feel like that, in a way, played a part in it too, where they're like, "Oh, he's not working with Pat, so that just means he's not doing well," which doesn't make sense because you see every single other example, every guy improving. But let's move on. It's not. Is he really that detrimental when he gets passed up by THT in the lineup? What are we doing?
As if we can have a larger target on Pat's back. For that context, like that man is hopeless on our team, at least. Like again, we've talked about that at length. Like, I'm sure he'll do better somewhere else, but forget about it. Like, please, he needs to go to another team. I hope that has zero to do with that firing, because yeah, the pros definitely outweigh the cons there.
I mean, it's unlikely AK will ever admit any sort of defeat, because I mean, I think what's become more and more apparent is that there is a pronounced ego that's driving everything he does as an executive. And I at the beginning of the season, when I think about like the trajectory of Pat's season, there's just no two ways about it. Like, he had a bad season, despite the injuries. Like, you know, certainly he's injured, but it's just when he was on the court, it just left so much to be desired at this point, even for like very meager expectations. And I'm definitely at the point where it's like I would prefer the Bulls cut their losses. Not saying like catch draft picks to him or anything, but you know, if you're just getting off of him for cap flexibility, I think that's a win at this point.
Steven, what up, man? Is Pat still even movable at this point with how he's played? Considering that high setup with 5 years with a player option.
It depends, I suppose, on like, I mean, I'll deal like I personally believe there's no such thing as a immovable contract, because time and time again the league proves that, you know, when a deal wants to get done, it gets done. It's just a matter of like, is there somebody on the other side that's motivated enough to have him? That's the kind of way I look at it. It may be difficult, certainly this offseason. Like, he's gonna have to play back some value for sure, because he's had just such a horrible season.
Yeah, it's like I think he'll still be here. Between the terrible value that his contract is with when it regards to his play, and then, you know, AK just not wanting to admit that he's wrong in anything. I'm sure that they will hold on to Pat until the very last breath.
Yeah, I don't think we really have much choice in the matter, because he definitely obviously did not play up to even half of his contract. And I know most of it is because of injury. Well, maybe not even most of it, but a lot of it has to do with his injury. And he was also just not playing so great. So yeah, he's definitely going to be on the team next year.
He's 2 summers away. Oh, my bad.
Ufman says our franchise is banking on the possibility of Pete Will being a net negative to semi-decent. Is this what purgatory tastes like? Yes.
Bar
Yes,
is low.
He's 2 summers away from being 2 summers away. I don't know what AK's saying when he's talking about anything, but let alone Patrick Williams. We have a summer program ready. We're gonna do this. You're not gonna do anything. He's not. What is he gonna do? I don't know. Just have fun on the bench. Give the meanest high fives. Celebrate. That's all I want to see. It's all I've accepted. I don't want to see anymore.
And you know what? He doesn't even give the meanest high fives either. We have to celebrate when he celebrates. It's that bad. Like, oh my God, he showed emotion. Like he didn't even give any energy off the bench. Like, so yeah. Just be the towel boy or something for now.
We just gotta have patience. Yeah, I heard AK at the press conference asking for patience after not being able to form an actual plan. He just wants us to have patience.
Yeah, I think that's just if there's anything that clearly demonstrates AK has no ability to read the room, to ask Bulls fans for patience when the majority, I think, I would feel confident there's a majority of Bulls fans that would say your quote unquote transition that you started this year, you should have started 2 years ago. So it's not like people thinking AK oh, you're right, AK, thanks. Yeah, let's get after this. No, everything you've done throughout your entire 5 seasons running this franchise has been largely reactive. You have not demonstrated any vision, anything proactive. And so, no, you don't get trust. You don't deserve trust. Under no circumstances does anybody trust you because you haven't demonstrated any results to turn around a situation yet.
What up, Hayes? Chicago Bulls Central. Shout out to him.
Hey.
Since my Bulls are in aura debt and somewhere P. Will is chilling on damn well he ain't touching the basketball till preseason. Yeah, he's probably in North Carolina helping his mom with the flower shop right now. Man.
Oh my God. AK somewhere getting his workout in, getting his lift, getting his run on Lakeshore Drive.
Gotta get that work in before, fielding trade inquiries or making trade inquiries. Looking at the draft board, he's got it's leg day, man. He got to work that out.
More untouchable.
Oh. Yeah. There's so I think easily just thinking about what the 2 funniest things I will just say completely random but necessary to say is people, the amount of people that decided Kevin Huerter for some reason was this untouchable dude. I don't understand that at all. It was wild. And then also the people who got triggered by the fact that Josh Giddey got cooked by TJ McConnell. Those are going to be 2 of my favorite Twitter timeline reactions of the whole season because both of those, I just don't know what to tell you.
He went with the deep cut on the McConnell cooking. Oh man, people were so pissed when you did those tweets.
That got people heated for a week. Hey, man, you know it just as well as I do, man. These people with these takes, man.
I was saying I'm kind of happy that my account got hacked. Not necessarily happy, but it has been a lot more peaceful since, because like I see a lot less than I used to. So that's probably better for me.
They haven't found you yet. Melissa's Twitter is like in a witness protection right now. So. Oh man, yeah, the people who are saying like Kevin Herter is untouchable is just insane. This roster, anybody that you can get value for, you kind of move on from them. Outside like the exception of Modest, unless it's something that blows you away. But they should definitely be talking about what can we get for Herter. What can we get for Kobe?
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to Kobe, and he had a great season. He shut some more doubters down by averaging 20 points for the first time in his career. He was getting to the line, showing he's taking that next step, but he's probably the Bulls' best trade asset still at this point, and I just don't know if you want to tie up like $70 million between Kobe and Giddey as the backcourt going forward, and if they're talking about having all this cap space in 2020, the summer 2026, it would be significantly less if you're paying both Kobe and Giddey like 30, 40 million a piece.
Yeah. And I would add to that, I mean, yeah, AK keeps talking about this grand plan about cap flexibility, cap space in the summer of 2026. I think it's more consequential, honestly, what the Bulls' 2026 trade deadline looks like because of the sheer number of expiring contracts that AK has that will lead to that cap space. Because more and more we see that in the NBA, there is value that other teams are finding in being able to sort of stack up these expiring contracts, especially if they're productive expiring contracts to make their playoff runs or whatever. And what I fear is AK is going to do absolutely nothing with any of those expirings, or like he's going to lose a deal because that's what he does every single time he goes to a negotiation. And it's just like there's an opportunity for him to actually, I think, turn some of these spare parts into something valuable if he's motivated, which big if. But I really wish AK were replaced today. It's just I said so much about this dude this season. He's incompetent. He should not actually he should not be running basketball operations for the Chicago Bulls. Like, the dude is so uninspiring and so much of he's a vegetable as an executive. And he has no concept of asset management. I'm just going to stop there because I'll go on a rant for like another 20 minutes about it. Okay.
No, it's 100% true. And the 20-minute rant would definitely be justified because, yeah, I think we all feel the same about that too. With all of the inaction over the last few years and the moves that were actually made that just didn't make any sense, like what we got back in return for some of the moves we actually did make, just nothing really made sense at all. And now this Peter Patton thing, like a whole lot of nonsense. But will it even matter if AK gets replaced like with the next person? Not to be so gloom and doom, but do you think that anything would change? Like, does our ownership care enough to actually put somebody in place that actually has like the best interest of the fans in mind, that can actually execute, that actually has the experience to do so and the will to actually do what we deserve? Like, I really don't know. Again,
no. I mean, like AK should be fired just purely on his job performance. But then after that, yeah, I mean, the ownership group should sell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and honestly, if we're in another 10 years and it's still this, at some point, like, I would say NBA, Adam Silver, whoever's Adam Silver in 10 years, Like, give Chicago a second team because I think fans are going to get like it just gets to a point where like fans should have a choice. Okay, should just be like being held to Jerry Reinsdorf's income statement every year, held hostage by that.
Yeah. Hayes says the Bulls have $60 million in expiring contracts, and if someone like Pat Riley had that, he would be working.
100%.
Exactly.
No doubt.
100%. To be honest, like it was a thought that came across my mind, like watching the play-in game last Wednesday. Like on paper, so many of those moves that the Heat made for their trade deadline kind of look like something you could laugh at, but in a lot of ways, it kind of came together in a way where they got what they needed out of it. Even though it looked like a bunch of spare parts. Like, I wish AK had that sort of mentality about the spare parts thing. Like, how come you can't get Davion Mitchell cooking dudes, like, and clamping? Like, how come it's like we get a week or two of Kevin Huerter and then he turns into a pumpkin? Like, that's what, yeah. Like, he needs to be doing that kind of spare parts and experience and whatever he thinks he's doing.
Morris is not upset enough yet because he hasn't done the Cookie Monster voice yet. Just wait till we get there.
Morris is called AK a vegetable, her a pumpkin. It's like this old VeggieTale ass team.
I'm a father of young children.
Mina said we need a GM to come in and tell Jerry to fall back and just let them take over. First of all, we need the GM because Mark Eversley has been on the milk carton for like the whole 4 years that AK and me have been in charge. Like, where is this guy? He's missing.
You know, when's the last time he actually did a press conference, like on camera? Anybody know that?
I don't even remember that. Probably just the very, very beginning. I saw him pop up one time in public, but not for a press conference. He just had like some kind of appearance somewhere, but like, who's that? Is that Mark Eversley? Yeah.
It says AK Tyler evaluation mantra: teamwork makes the dream work. Yep, teamwork of 9, 10 good players.
Can do attitude.
And then he gets on the mic all the time talking about, "Oh, I'm evaluating these things, and we're gonna learn more.
There it is.
We're gonna evaluate. We're gonna learn. We're gonna evaluate. We're gonna learn." It's 5 years, man. It's like, are you trying to get a PhD in evaluation, or are you going to actually do something? Like, I'm just saying, like, there's scholarly people with many degrees that don't do all the evaluating he talks about.
Patience. 5 years. Patience. We need to have patience. Okay?
That's double Peter Patton.
He says, man, Mark Eversley is weekend at Bernie's.
I love it. Yes.
Oh, new meme alert.
Is AK and Michael Reinsdorf propping up Mark Eversley in the UC?
Shout out Lord Star 21's my boy Larry. Finally caught y'all live.
Yo.
Thanks for tapping in. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's move on to the Bulls. The Bulls lost the coin flip with Dallas, so they're locked in for the 12th pick. We got 1.7% chance of the first pick. We had that 17 years ago and got D Rose. So, you know, NBA, like, maybe it's time. Make sure we get that first pick again. The draft lottery is in Chicago, so I'm just saying.
And then watch, because it's AKs, be like, no, I don't need.
You know, you guys take it.
Give me Igor Demon. I need Demon. That's what they need.
This Josh Giddey 2.0, team full of Josh Giddies.
Yeah.
Just think about that. Oopman says somewhere AK strategized how to sell the city into Chicago on the prospect of Igor Demon with pick 9.
I keep seeing. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I keep seeing people saying that, like, oh, you know, it's a loaded draft. We're still gonna get a superstar from at 12. And I'm so, what are you taught? Like, there's not. in like exactly the top 5, and I'm just like wondering what are they seeing in some of these players. I wish them nothing but the best for their careers, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see the star. I'm looking. I can't find it.
Yeah, I mean, Alejandro, you've been doing an amazing job for us this season, man. With all the draft coverage. I mean, I haven't kept up with any boards lately. Like, what is even like feasible for the Bulls at 12?
It's like from 10 to about 20. It can fluctuate. They all are like on the same level, in my opinion. Someone that I have like that has like high upside potential is I don't know how to pronounce his name. Like Noah, he's from France. Let me pull him up. Noah Isungay. He's from France. He can't. He's 8. I wouldn't be surprised if AK gets him because he can't shoot really.
That's an AK.
But he can defend. But like for once, I see the vision. I don't know. I hope he sees the vision this time. Doesn't go after Igor Demon, but he can defend really great at moving without the ball, and just like could play finisher, exactly what this team could need. So I hope that he's there. I don't want to see just guys who need the ball too much to try to succeed on this team. Because they're not going to really thrive. I don't see it happening if you re-sign Josh Giddey to $35 million or whatever. It doesn't make sense.
You still think that AK will take his traditional long wing non-shooter without Peter Patton around to fix the shooting?
This time I hope so. This time I really hope so. The one time, why not? But knowing him, I don't know who he's gonna pick. I really don't. It's gonna be a clunky fit, is what I just expect.
It feels like AK is due to finally pick another like completely big useless center who can't do anything. There's gonna be like a Windy City Bulls all-star.
Oh yeah.
Drash and stash. But never go back to the stash.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm gonna stash this guy here, and then I'm just gonna damn, where did I put him? The 4 years runs out and he's just done.
See them. You see the player getting recalled back to and from the Bulls to the Windy City Bulls. Yeah, that sounds about right.
So I said, don't trade Giddey. Well, Giddey is a free agent, and we're definitely going to sign him to a new contract. Probably 30 million area. Nobody's essentially thrilled with that number. But it is what it is. I mean, he was one of the best players for the Bulls, especially after the All-Star break. He did actually become competent behind the 3-point line. Shout out Peter Patton, who was let go. So
what do you guys know?
Just circles it back to what's going on.
Do you guys know the plan on that? Anyways, like I didn't see any reading about them actually planning to replace him. Are they planning to replace Peter Patton also, or are they just like eliminating the role because we hadn't had really anybody in there for such a long time?
They had to promote somebody. I think Casey Johnson said it recently. Let's see.
Yeah, that was a good question. I mean, because to the earlier point that Alejandro made, right? The Bulls didn't renew they didn't pick up his team option,
right?
So certainly, I guess a contractual aspect to it, where it's like, do they need to give somebody a new contract or what?
They might promote Austin Default because Peter Patton hired him and he was very much high on him. And a part of the reason why Patton his team option wasn't picked up was because some salary reasons that they were probably far off the number. So
To be honest, if I was Peter Patton, I was like, you see what I just did with this non-shooting Giddy? Give me my money.
Everything is just,
Lord.
everything is just making me angrier because
He says, North Star says this is a good number for Giddy. That's Mr. Triple Double. The thing is, he's a restricted free agent, and there's like one other team with cap space. So we've seen in the past with the Bulls front office is they will bid against themselves, and they won't let the market set the player's value, and they'll just throw them a number like Patrick Williams has a 5-year, $90 million deal with a player option because they didn't let him test the market. They just threw him some, and he was like, "Oh yeah, bet y'all gonna give me this? Have y'all not seen what I've produced? I'm getting paid off potential. I will take it." And that's pretty much the fear with Josh Giddey. Is that we're going to just throw him $30 million, not let him test the market. And then there's the possibility of, he balled out because it was a contract year. I'm not saying that's what happened and that's the motivation behind Giddey for, the Giddey haters. I mean, the Giddey committee, whatever you want to call them, come after me. That's not what I'm saying is going to happen, or that's the reason behind it. I'm just saying there is a possibility of that happening because we've seen it happen before. So you always got to think about the cons that could come out of a situation. So remains to be seen.
definitely. And he played great on a not so great team too. So whatever the direction is with the Bulls, like if we actually do end up picking up someone decent in the draft or like somehow a pretty good player in free agency, doubtful, but you see how he plays with higher caliber players too. And again, I know he's young, but all of these things, like there's context with how Giddey played. And I'm not taking any of that away from him, but he did great on a mid team. Him and Kobe.
Yeah. I mean, I will continue to toe the line of, as far as I know, I think I'm the most aggressive person in terms of like what I think Giddey should be offered. I still maintain you give Giddey $17 million a year and let him prove that he can get more than that on the open market. I think that's reasonable because his qualifying offer is $11 million. So it's either like, you don't like that, play on this qualifying offer for a year, you get to go unrestricted free agent next year, and then we'll talk. And honestly, even looking beyond just my own aggressive number, if I'm thinking about this from the Bulls standpoint, like if they want to be a savvy front office, I would try to sell Giddey on like, hey man, like take $20 million, take 20 for 2 years, and like we believe you're this big deal. Like set yourself up to go after like the max or the super max, like, and it'll be worth more money anyway by the time that deal runs out. Like trying to give him like $30 million for like something 4 or 5 year contract, I don't think that does much for the Bulls. Honestly, if Giddey's truly a competitor and he wants to like get his max money, like you should really set yourself up to get the real max and not just like this sort of like I fear it becomes an albatross kind of thing where just like Vooch, just like Pat, and even because of Zach LaVine, but that's sort of a different animal because he earned that max contract. That was a legitimate max contract per the CBA. Like, I just think there should be some more thoughtful sort of discussion and nuance about like, if Giddey is a long-term piece, set him up to where like he gets the money in a way that makes sense for both parties. That's all I'm saying.
That's a really good point, Morris, because, with like his mentality on everything too, I could totally see him going for something like that with how he bets on himself too, like coming to a different team, leaving OKC because he wasn't getting any tick. I could see him like being down for that too, because he really did bet on himself. He knew what he wanted. He knew he wanted a starting spot. He was asking for a number that most people were like, what? But yeah, he's made some major improvements, so I could see that working for him. Actually, that's a good point.
And it would be in the Bulls' best interest because, again, just like Derek mentioned, there aren't teams just sitting around with a bunch of open cap space. It's basically the Brooklyn Nets. So unless Giddey is really about to go to the Brooklyn Nets and say, "Hey, give me this $50 million offer sheet or something crazy," it's probably not going to happen. And it's just like the timing of like trying to go after big money this offseason, kind of like, to me personally, I think he holds himself back by doing it.
Yeah, and no, the Ringer, not the Ringer, the Athletic put out a anonymous NBA players poll earlier today, and Giddey did get some votes for most overrated player in the NBA. So if his peers or some of his peers are viewing him as like the most overrated player in the league, I don't think like the Nets are just going to be like, oh yeah, we have to sign him. Just throw the money at him and we'll get him away from Chicago.
Yeah, I just actually saw a report because it feels like somebody's really trying to push that Giannis to Brooklyn agenda. I saw some report that apparently, I know, I live in New York for coincidence, right? Like apparently Giannis has a couple of businesses reportedly in New York. So it's like that already kind of sets it up. It's like, I think if the Nets have the choice between Josh Giddey and Giannis, take it. Like, here, take all our money, Giannis, please. Let's help you find your apartment.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what like the people who want us to get Zion at this point. What's your guys' thoughts on that one?
As the saying goes, the best ability is availability, and when he's on the court, I can't knock what Zion brings to the table. It would be cognitive dissonance to somehow pretend that like those 30 games you get Zion is going to get you to the playoffs. Like it hasn't, and it probably won't.
Yeah, we kind of spoke on this another episode, but yeah, no, thank you. What Morris has said with availability plus like whatever the identity of the team is, at least this season we know it was like pace and like a lot of transition hoop, but like we know that doesn't necessarily work with like Zion's style of play and him just not being available. So it just doesn't make sense. I don't think it makes sense, but yeah, no, thank you. No. No.
Alejandro, what you think?
If he were to, Mark Zuckerberg would need to ban his Instagram immediately, and then just maybe, sure. But I'm not. He has to be available. I would want to see him in a Javonte Green role, as crazy as that sounds. But like he needs to be on the court. Just then, AK is going to probably almost like overpay for him, and then you're left with nothing, and then you just get 30, 20 games of Zion. It's not going to lead you anywhere. Maybe some back to the play-in where we're destined to go, but that's all.
Yeah, my reasons for not wanting Zion are simple. I mean, when he's on the court, he's a great basketball player. Like, there's no denying that. But he's been having issues with health, other off the court problems, and those would all be like amplified coming to Chicago because our medical team is trash. We had Io DeSumo out there with his shoulder hanging out of his socket playing in an overtime regular season game, and you want to put Zion in their hands? He has the weight issue embedded in his contract, and
are you familiar with our food?
Yeah, Chicago has great food. As Usman says, Zion Williamson, get ready to learn tavern style. And then 3, his issues with baby mamas and adult entertainers, and have you not seen the women in Chicago? Like, all his issues are exasperated by one city. Nah, I'm good.
I kind of want you to expand on that last one you just said right now. What you mean? Have you seen the women in Chicago?
They got some fine women.
Okay, just making sure because we talk about like adult entertainers and.
I have no. I've got no say in that one. I'm not searching Chicago.
We just needed clarity. We need clarity on that one.
I'll just say, just to get this on the rails. I would love to see a future for Zion Williams where, one, like he finds a way to keep his body together, where he can just be on the court. And I think there's a future for him where, at some point, he probably has to embrace like he's not going to be an NBA starter in terms of minutes load, and just play some minutes that like help his body stay in shape and he isn't breaking down every season.
So maybe he takes the Joel Embiid no back-to-back game plan.
I mean, he might have to.
That man said, "I'm not playing back-to-backs for the rest of my career."
Uvad just said from crawfish to deep dish to Zion. Sir, you're right. You should write. I like that. I like that.
So I mean, we do have to look like on the bright side for the Bulls, which pretty much is only Modest Buzelis, but we've already seen that Modest is already back in the gym working. You got to think the Bulls' best option maybe is just luck and hoping that Modest becomes a superstar at this point, because given AK and the Invisible Man, Eversley incompetence of running the front office, and Jerry and Michael Reinsdorf not really caring as long as they see a profit, that's probably going to be the Bulls' best option of becoming relevant, is the way Modest hoops. And you hope that somebody's like, "Hey, I want to go play with that guy," because they've already said, Casey Johnson released a mailbag earlier today and said that the Bulls have no plan on tanking next season for a draft pick either. So round and around we go.
Yeah, it's always been luck with this franchise. I mean, that's the dirty secret. Other than, the 90s and a dominance from D Rose that was cut short from injuries. I mean, when have the Rhinestones ever demonstrated that they're trying to put like a serious basketball team on the floor? They just haven't.
Yeah, and like the hope of Montez developing into like a star, which I definitely see potential for. A lot of that rides on what pieces are they going to put around him too. And again, hopefully we luck out and there are players that actually want to come that have great potential or are already great players. But that has a lot to do with it too. Putting pieces around him that are going to complement his game and make him better too. Can't have Montez around like a bunch of, I don't want to say like not so great players. I'm not going to slander anybody, but and expect him to be a star. So unfortunately that rides on AK too. Yeah. And the fact that we have no player development at the moment is just.
Missy's not going to slander, but I am. You're saying we need a team of non-Patrick Williams.
Yeah. When we get off these, like every time we get off, I start going off, and I'm like, I don't want to see all this stuff on YouTube. But so you guys get the edited version of me because, yeah.
Well, but even as you're saying that, like I think I'm like I thought I fully processed everything from last week, but that Peter Patton thing, I really feared that that's going to go down as one of the stupidest things that Arturas Karnisovas has ever done in his job, because you just drafted although like a good motor rookie, still a rookie who needs to develop some things, far from a finished product, and like because you potentially had like some issues with some words maybe or some opinions from Peter Patton that you didn't like you cut off Miles' development at the knees because you're thin-skinned and weak and like impatient. But I gotta be patient with you. Like big loser energy.
No, yeah, we just ask for patience. we're building this team and eternal development for a young core.
Yeah. But also that point, I mean, that's a great point you're making also, Melissa, about like you have to put like competent players around him, because Miles' play style is the sort of thing where I think if he were to develop into a superstar, like into a superstar tier player, it will be because the tools that he already has, they kind of like channel into being the sort of player where like he can be an engine for the other four guys on the court. Like what's great about Miles, what I like about him already is tight handle. He can get downhill. He can force defenses into rotations already. So like, yeah, the other four guys need to be able to play off of that. And that hasn't always been like the strong suit of the rosters that AK has built, where it's like, AC, Caruso is probably like the most high, I feel like basketball IQ we've had next to DeMar. Like those two in particular, like they had a dynamic where they knew how to play off of guys. And like that's what it's gonna take also. You're gonna need some guys that can play off of him. Can't be 6'8" wing who does absolutely nothing. Like it needs to be somebody who can make some reads, who can see the floor. Like that's what AK is, and play defense also, frankly. Like AK has sucked at defensive priorities his entire tenure. And that's like I'm going to get heated now because I'm just realizing like I've seen some great defensive basketball from the NBA playoffs so far. Like that Knicks Pistons game, 90s me wants that entire arena burned down to the ground, but objectively as somebody who likes basketball, like that's some of the best defense I've seen in years. And this guy, AK, keeps picking all these offensive like lightweights as far as defense. And it's like, when are you going to get some people that can actually keep the ball in front of them, get stops, like quit treating defense as something that's just for a specialist. Like we need 5 guys on the court to play defense all together, not the one guy who's going to be like the place kicker of defense in basketball. Like you can't keep doing this as like specialist stuff.
Yeah, we had that in Zoe, but that's about it. And like you mentioned, ACU is gone, and yeah, but to have like a two-way player, players that actually care and are passionate about defense. Yeah, what is that? I miss it. Like if my memory can jog back far enough, but yeah, just not the same.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the Pistons, you look at the Rockets right now in the playoffs, like I'm sure there are people that would clown either roster for their youth and like, they're nothing, they're not going to do anything. But you look at them right now, and like these are formidable rosters right now with young guys and a collection of vets. And it's just like, I just find it challenging to this is sort of like just an open sort of like question to the whole Bulls fan base. Like, if you truly watch other teams besides the Bulls, how can you have faith in anything that Arturo's kind of show, anything that comes out of his mouth at this point? Because so much of what he has said for 5 seasons has been the most empty rhetoric possible. He's not backed up a single thing in any executive move, any roster build move. And it's like I feel like half the league has lapped him at this point because, I don't have any graphics in front of me, but that's like a research project I have to do, I think, at this point is like, let's look at all the teams that sucked as much as the Bulls when Arturas Karnisovas took over the Bulls. And where are they today? Because we know at least the Pistons, they ain't sucking anymore. Pistons going to be big brother for like at least the next 3-4 seasons, unfortunately, because AK sucks.
We won't accept mediocrity. The middle is not good enough for us. But every year you're in the middle. You have not done anything to get out of the middle. You've just done more shit to stay in the middle. So you got your continuity there, your continuity there. The integrity to stay in the same place.
Yeah, it is not good. Of course, the good thing about it is that they did this with like a younger squad, having like a very similar record to last year and being back in the play-in again, but that shouldn't be the bar is just so low. Like there's the upside for it that it was a newer squad and they're younger and they're all learning and they did really great for what it is, but the bar is very low, man.
And technically, if you want to get technical about it, it was a newer squad for like half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you had Zach until like the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Zach was hooping.
Yeah, I would make the case, honestly, and this is also, I mean, I feel like all the Band-Aids just rip them all off. That tweet taking a dig exactly was in poor taste because the Bulls wouldn't have been in that stupid playing game if it wasn't for Zach LaVine. And like it's just shameful that like CHSN would put something out there like that. It lacks any self-awareness as an organization to do that.
Yeah, we tapped on that last episode too. Most of us were not pleased with that. That just made no sense. Very much in poor taste, super unprofessional. Like you do not have to pit him and make him like the poster child for our then and now. Doesn't make any sense at all. That was just super in poor taste for a player that gave so much to this franchise for how many years. Yeah,
it gave his best effort. Meanwhile, it's like as if like the Bulls were something infinitely better. You're in the same playing tier and doing loser stuff like tanking a Cavs game so you can guarantee your loser playing game. Just like complete loser energy compounded. It's a triple cheeseburger of loserness. And like how do you do that? Like it's the most shameful stuff I've ever seen from the Bulls is like that period of time. And the results. The saying goes, God don't like ugly. And so I really hope that the Bulls reflect this offseason. The leadership needs to reflect and get serious about winning or just like be honest about yourself. I don't
know. But you didn't hear more of AK lauding that, well, we finished the season 15-5 and like that's some accomplishment right there. We finished season 15-5, just like what was it, 14-9 when we got Patrick Beverly and still went to the play-in and lost and came back this season, and now we're 15-5, finishing the season and losing in the play-in.
AK is the kind of person, he reminds me of like when I didn't have like grown-up money. I would feel good if I could put $15 in my gas tank. Like that's how AK functions. Like he gets happy when you put $15 in the gas tank. He's never going to think about full tank of gas in his life. Like, oh, I can put $15 in the gas tank. Great.
Half a tank.
Let me get a quarter Little Debbie cake too. Like that's how he builds his roster. $15 of gas and Little Debbie. That's what he does. Meanwhile, the Celtics, they go to a grocery store like a grown-up. That's what they do. Because they're smart and they go win. But AK, he's cheap and stupid and he's a loser.
Yeah.
He just wants to have a tank, Morse.
He won't tank, but he'll pay for $15 of a tank. Somebody make that meme for me. I need that Drake meme where it's like, no tanking. Oh, tank of gas? $15 in the tank of gas? Yes. Give me that meme, please.
We're doomed, y'all. The fandom is doomed. Oh.
Yeah. Hey, I tried to make this not so gloom and doom, but
it's just all realistic, which is the sad part.
It is. But like this, so I'll offer this because like I promise, like my existence is not 24/7 anger about the Bulls, but AK is stupid. Like it just like I have some reactions at this point thinking about that dude. Who realistically is the Bulls core at this point? Because obviously, like we know Giddey's gonna get like a Scrooge McDuck money bin of money, but like after that, who is the core? Because like Joe Cali had that report saying like the Bulls are trying to make this new big three. Giddey, Kobe, and Vooch, which is that's a collection of words, honestly. Big three and those three, but sure.
Yeah, Vooch being mentioned in that is asinine at this point. Like, Vooch needs to go.
He's ready.
He wants to go too. He don't even want to be on this team anymore either. Like, please, like.
He wants to play deep to the playoffs at this point in his career.
I would love to hear Vooch. Like, if I could be a fly on the wall when Vooch clocks in at work, because I mean he's been pretty much like unfiltered on social for like the last season and a half. So I know he just goes to work every day, just like letting it rip. Like I need to hear Vooch and AK have a conversation because I bet. See, that's the thing. Like, that's the problem. See, Vooch hasn't said something to make AK mad yet. That's all you got to do. Tell AK that, like, there's no such thing as non very good players, and then he'll trade them. Like, that's where Vooch is slacking. You just got to tell AK's
the thing
that he has an ugly baby.
The thing with the Cali thing was talking about them exploring Vooch trade at the deadline. I'm like, at the deadline? Didn't AK say he laid the groundwork for a trade this summer to move Vooch? Now they want to hold on to him to the deadline? After like continuously denying the Golden State Warriors trade proposal for Vooch because AK believes he is worth a first round draft pick.
Yeah.
Just let him go. I don't understand why he just can't let, because then when you ask him if how does he think the trade went, it is I think we won. We did great. We phenomenal with this trade. Just cut your losses. It's not, what is the point? Because now you got Jalen Smith rotting on the bench. For what? For what? You told him that he could come in here and maybe be a starter to not even get any playing time. Terrible.
Yeah. Like, it just seems like AK is like overly obsessed with winning single transactions where his responsibility is very much to win wars. He's on like a complete 5-year losing streak of his war because he constantly is obsessed about how can I win a single trade. No exec wins every single trade, AK. Like, you just get, like, set a direction, set a vision, and let the wins and losses mount or cancel themselves out. But it's like his attitude about trades is that's definitely one of the weirdest things I think of this whole 5-year tenure is the number of trades he basically just taking himself out of for whatever reason. And none of us sitting here have the inside view into it, but I feel like there's enough body evidence through the reporting and just the repeated behavior patterns where it's like you see that for some reason this guy does not get deals done. And I think that's a reasonable question to ask. Okay, why don't you get deals done? Because it's your job to get deals done. You seem to completely freeze every single trade deadline, every single off season. Do people like you? Do you know how to have negotiations? It seems like something is off. And no, I don't have patience for you because you're proving day after day that you don't have it, man.
Yeah, it's like a mix of him being incompetent and him being stubborn, him being egotistical, just based off all the press conferences. In the beginning, he was so confident, borderline cocky. And then a year passed and wait till you guys see what we're going to do. And the conversation at the press conference, it was the same. It repeated, just wait. And we're exploring all options. Trust me, we're exploring all options and nothing ever happens. And the things that do happen make zero sense. We stood pat on multiple possible trades where we'd have got a decent return on and nothing happened. And now this past year, what did he say? Now he was finally admitting that it wasn't working. Finally, and yeah, very underwhelming what he actually did with that. So yeah, I have zero hope or faith in AK myself, and I felt that way for a while. And I feel that way even higher than him, all the way at the top, with ownership too. So I make my jokes and stuff. I did enjoy the exciting hoop we were playing, but that's also because I'm kind of hopeless. I feel like nothing's going to happen ever. I don't think I'm going to see a contending team for at minimum, the next 6 years. So I just those are my little wins, which is very sad because I am a lifelong fan of this team. But yeah, that little bit of excitement this last half of the season, that's again, the bar is low, but that was exciting for me. And I know that we're not going to get anything out of that. And we're directionless and honestly a little hopeless until things change at the very, very top. I can't just stop loving basketball. I'm starting to watch other teams now, which I would never do years ago. But yeah, the last 4 or 5 years, I've been starting to watch, I've been expanding my what I'm actually watching. And it is both refreshing and depressing.
Yeah.
I told you that man is mentally challenged, and he should have took a mental test before getting the job in the front office. Because, okay, say you sign Giddy and you re-sign Kobe. No knock to either of those players, but they're on a championship team, they're probably the second or third best player. And a 2 plus a 2 does not equal a 1 in NBA math. You need that number 1. And he's just fine with getting 2 number 2s, like Zach and DeMar. So it's just who's going to be the 2 number 2s to lead the 9 to 10 very good players.
Yeah, and I worry about a star even wanting to come here because you know what you're walking into. If you're a star and you know your value and you have high value, to come to this franchise, you would know that you're kind of you're not going to reach your potential with the franchise. You're likely not going to if you have studied up on the history during this tenure, at least even beyond. What is AK going to do for me as a star coming to this team? Is he going to be able to build around me as a star? Is he going to help me? Is he going to help me with my end goal of a championship? Yeah, I don't see how we would even attract any stars on this team either. But
yeah, I mean, AK probably had like all of like a single year of goodwill where he could have made that move. Like, I mean, after the initial, the moves to Brian DeMar and AC, it seemed like, oh, the Bulls are actually going to be a competent organization that can get like talent from the outside. But he squandered all that. And I mean, to your point, Melissa, I think the players definitely know all for sure because I mean, the Athletic, they had that player survey they just published today, and the players are like, nah, Bulls, y'all are pretty much a bad organization. Like I'm not gonna waste my time with you.
7th most votes for worst organization in the NBA.
And you can't fault them. Again, we were just talking about Zach. Like, like it was the worst kept secret in the world that AK wanted to trade Zach for like 3 seasons. And then like this is something I mentioned in my season recap column as well. I mean, I think there's some interesting bookends of like AK's behavior firing Peter Patton, but then you go back to last offseason where that crazy column came out where anonymous Bulls executive is trashing Zach, and like something like that shouldn't leak, and that's supposed to be still, at least at that point, still a guy you would consider like the face of your franchise or that tier. And so I was like, if I'm like an all NBA player, if I'm a star, why would I sacrifice my career for this bum, loser-minded executive? Like, no.
Exactly.
So Ufma asks, do you guys want Kaminga on the Bulls?
Kaminga.
I thought about it. That's just Kyle Kuzma, who was drafted high. The right numbers, sure. Why not? He's shown he can play, but he's not. I'm not going to pay him 30 mil. I'd be hesitant to do 20 million. It's just, he can't shoot for one. For two, he has promise, but it's not, it's just another move to keep you in the plane, in my opinion.
Kaminga is it's just a hard no for me because to Alejandro's point, like he can't shoot, but also he's had enough time in very high tier, high functioning organization where it's like somehow he didn't find a role there, and there's a lot of the same reasons why I was critical and still will forever be critical of AK going to go get Giddey. Is like if Giddey wasn't working out with SGA, what is he going to do here? And that would be my same thing. So yeah, probably AK is like really thirsty for Kaminga because in his mind, if I get getting Kaminga, then I got like Tim Duncan and David Robinson. I'm going to win 8,000 championships in AK's brain. That's what he thinks.
Yeah, I'm right there with you with more. I'm right there with you. Exactly what you said, Morris. And plus, and I was just gonna say what Sammy said. Like exactly, can't shoot, and we got nobody.
Yeah, like who's going to help his shooting numbers?
It's a no for me. To me, Kaminga is Patrick Williams on a better team.
Yeah,
he had a better culture around him, so not as timid as Pat, but what's he really going to offer you?
Yeah, I mean, this is where it's like it helps, to watch other teams besides the Bulls. I mean, the Warriors are like, in terms of like play style, just like what that team has been in this entire like Steph Curry era. It's one of the most fundamental basketball, like in terms of gameplay, it's one of the most fundamental teams out there. Like again, to me, that's a concern. Is like if he can't find a role in a team like that, where it's like it's not ISO, like it's not something like you can't say like, oh, Kaminga isn't figuring out because Steph Curry's got the ball in his hand too much. Like, no, like Warriors are one of the best ball movement organizations by far. It's just fundamental basketball. Everything they do is fundamental basketball. And so, like, somebody can't figure out there, I'm less likely to buy into like, oh, they're just not in the right situation. Like, I think you might actually need to work on some things.
Said we had a Stephen Castle instead of like Giddy, I might actually believe. The Giddy fans are going to find you for that one. I just want you to know.
I just want to go on the record. Like I haven't said a bad thing about Josh Giddey today. I just want to make that clear. Like for the most part, I've said everything I need to say about Giddey this season. So it's like I hope he gets his money. Good luck with that.
We'll get it.
Yeah, I just hope it's not $30 million, and it's nothing against him getting his money. It's just that it would help us with cap flexibility if he got like 20.
Yeah,
he still gets paid. He still gets a contract. He's still going to be a part of the team, but at least we have 10 million to operate with, because I don't think we pretty much don't have anything that we can do this offseason except for like the mid-level exception, and unless we make a trade.
Yeah, I mean, so the number to keep the eye on for this summer is just like where are the Bulls at in terms of the luxury tax space, because that's the ultimate thing that matters, I think, as far as where the Bulls stand in. I mean, I just have to be looking at Spot Rack right now. The Bulls are 4.8 million under the luxury tax for the remainder of this season, or like I would assume going into the offseason. Yeah, 4.8 million. So yeah, they don't have a ton of wiggle room, Jerry Reinsdorf organization to do anything big money. So yeah, it's probably just giving Giddy his money, and then AK is going to give himself a pat on the back, I guess, for like this perceived like cap flexibility he's going to have next season.
Yeah, I mean, who knows if we had that cap flexibility? Because like I said, if you signing Giddy to 30 million, you give Kobe 40. That's the big chunk of that. Your what you're looking for in your 2026 summer plans, AK, is it's not going to be there.
Yeah, all the cap talk is probably frustrating me. Just there's a lot of things that frustrate me about AK, but it's also just like the talking out both sides of his mouth aspect of the money thing. Because on one hand, he wasn't going to take back long money for John to trade Lonzo Ball, but yeah, he's going to give Giddy probably a 5-year contract. At the same time, like he's talking about all this cap flexibility, but if all your cap flexibility goes to dudes that are already on your roster, then like why are you even caring about that? Like most rational NBA teams, if they're going to get cap flexibility, it's because they want to make moves to improve the roster, not just give dudes pay raises like you're a stupid, boring bank corporation. Like that's what like a regular civilian company does. Like you make plans for your raises. That's what AK is doing with his cap sheet. Like this is supposed to be an NBA franchise, but it's like he runs Wells Fargo Bank. That's what he's doing. He is an executive vice president of Wells Fargo Bank instead of an executive vice president of an NBA franchise. Wells Fargo Bank, if you also want to sponsor Bulls on Tab, hey, we welcome it, I'm sure.
Hey, you can bank on us being here talking about this team. I don't know. Yeah, so I think it's May 12th is the NBA draft lottery, and we'll see if the Bulls can get some luck and move on to the top 4 or be stuck at 12th and kind of figure out what can happen there. I mean, yes, it's possible. It's been done before where you get a star pick with that in that range. Like SGA was in that range. It's very few and far between, but I think the Bulls are due for some luck, or we gotta have that luck every so often to keep this franchise afloat.
Gotta at Adam Silver. Yo,
Yeah.
dog, help us out.
I mean, Bron, like when Bron was on Pat McAfee, he said, "Oh yeah, the league fixes drafts and whatever." Yeah, I mean, fix the draft, please. And it's our turn.
Exactly.
Allegedly, the draft gets fixed.
I mean, hey, Adam Silver, we have no superstar player, and we're fifth in merchandise sales. So, you put billboards up of Modest and Cooper flag together, you're going to see a lot more jerseys being moved.
Exactly.
Adam Silver, we trust. Keep hope alive.
That gave me PTSD. Remember when in AK We Trust was a thing?
That did not last long.
Oh my goodness.
It feels like a century ago.
We need to bring the billboards back. We are no longer seeing red. Fire AK. But yeah, until any other like depressing news comes up from this organization or the draft lottery. You guys got anything to add?
Shout out Benny the Bull.
He's always great.
The best. Like we definitely have the best mascot in the entire league. Possibly in all of professional sports.
The shining star.
Easily all professional sports.
Mm-hmm.
Remember D Wade's retirement tour and he's swapping jerseys with all the star players on the teams, and when it got to us, he swapped with Benny. That'll put things in perspective. Shout out Benny.
Benny, he's the GOAT, man.
All right. Just want to say anything before we get out of here.
Yeah. We're gonna wrap. I will share for all our wonderful listeners. I want to say first, I want to thank you all for this season. It's been a great season, despite not great results from the Bulls on court. But I just want to thank everybody that rocked with us this season. Appreciate everybody supporting our content, supporting the podcast, supporting the writing. Wonderful, wonderful support. And I'm extremely grateful for that. And I will also share a bit of a cliffhanger news update. With the conclusion of this 2024-25 Bull season, I am also actually concluding my time with Bulls on Tap, which is a mixed emotion, bittersweet thing. But like a lot of creators in the world, I wish this were my full-time thing, but it's not. I am a guy that have a day job, kids, wife, family, lots of stuff. Long story short, I am on a quest to spend more time in the gym, just like our fearless leader, Arturas Karnisovas. I don't work out enough, so I got to do some of that. And so it's just an opportunity where it's like I got to reprioritize some things in life. And an 82 game Bull season is a grind. And I think for a lot of people, in case a lot of people don't know, but like I've done like a lot of behind the scenes stuff for Bulls on Tap this season. And so there's just like a lot, as much as like I've tried to give as much as possible. And I think Bulls on Tap is much greater, and like it's going to continue. It's going to be great. I'll definitely come back and stuff, but it's just like I definitely can't keep up with the Bulls season and like writing all the news that I wrote this year. But we'll still be involved in basketball, and we'll talk more about that in the future. But definitely just want to give everybody that update. And I just can't, again, express enough gratitude for this opportunity. And, I want to shout out Tony, our On Tap CEO, for giving me this opportunity. I want to shout out Buzz, who, a luminary and brought me in the Bulls on Tap, and Goose, Drew Stevens, just all these people that came before me. And I'm grateful to, just play a part in just the growth of the caliber of content we've done this season. Like Derek, Melissa, Alejandro, and I'll shout out Justin as well. It's a great team. I knew this was going to be a great team. When I talked to all of you, and you graciously decided to come on board. So I want to thank all of you guys as well, because I think I just can't express enough gratitude, honestly. And I don't know. I get bad talking about sentimental stuff. I'd be better off when I'm just trashing AK, but just thank you guys.
No, thank you, man. We appreciate you for bringing us on and putting all this together, doing better roster construction than AK could ever do. So, and this isn't the last you're going to see of Morris, because I'm definitely going to pull him in for some podcasts when he's available.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. The good. I mean, just like we had Drew on, as I guess transitioning to Bulls on Tap alumni state. Yeah, definitely love to be back anytime.
You and I talked offline. You know how much I appreciate you. Thank you so much for everything you've done. And we know it's not the end, but it's been an absolute pleasure to work with you. We really appreciate you putting this all together. I mean, you assembled this great squad, and it's been really dope to see your ascension ever since seeing you on Twitter with those live threads like we always talk about. And it's been really cool to see you transition fully into podcasting and writing full-blown articles. You are a wealth of knowledge, and you're passionate about your team. So a huge part of the Bulls fandom, and we appreciate you for real. Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Morris. Yeah, it was fun writing this year. It was definitely a new challenge. I enjoyed every part of it. It was very much a crazy stuff, and it's it's just fun and great. And I'm grateful for the opportunity. Just us, joking around on Twitter to actually making content. It was incredible, and it's always going to be. I'm messaging you about jokes about Giddy and everything.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be a new bit for next season. There always is a new bit. And I was just looking at what Uthman said, you think that overdrive gift is too much? Let me tell you, there's a time when Patrick Williams crossed over Jason Tatum, who respectfully I know is not out. He's out. But it's also it just seems timely that Jason Tatum is not playing because Patrick Williams cooked his ankles twice, bro. Let me tell you. I got every mile out of that I could possibly
get. Something he said, look what AK and the Bulls did to Mo.
I can't say that they helped that either. No. Perhaps a more competent run basketball franchise would be giving me energy instead of taking my life.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Bulls Nation. It looks gloomy. It looks doomy, but we can't do nothing but hope and pray. What is this?
Are you playing the Good Time Steve's music? What is that?
So it's what is this music? All we can do is hope and pray that our future is going to get a little bit brighter, and though that's pretty much all we can do right now.
I think so. Also, I just want to also like shout out Derek as well. Like, so again, like, you know, Derek becomes like the behind the scenes guru of Bulls on Tap, and I want to congratulate him on that. He's done an amazing job. Also, just like again with this podcast, but then also like, incredibly talented, like backbone of the writing side of this world we had too. I would have been announcing this like 8 months ago if Derek didn't show up. To be honest. So thank you, Derek.
Oh, man, thank you. Like I said, you called the play to get us in to Bulls on Tap. So it's all the reflection of your work and brain trust that's, again, better than what we have in the Bulls front office.
Yeah, I got 3 not very like y'all 3 all NBA all stars. Like, thank you. Take that, AK, you bum.
And on that note, we thank everybody for tapping in. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And until the next time, go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
I found the song.